This is the part 10 of digging every corner of Konoha. Hope you like this video guys, enjoy. Chapter 91, Chapter 91 Evacuation. Mai went back to prepare after being persuaded. In fact, in Kirigakyo, everyone wanted to run, but due to Yagura being controlled by Obito, he was not like Sandame, who is afraid of having bad reputation after stopping people from leaving the village. For Obito, even civilians can't leave casually. In short, Obito is going to play Kirigakyo to death. Anyone in Kirigakyo is his enemies. Most people in Kirigakyo want to run, but they can't run, and it's hard to find a place to stay after they run away. So with Iwagakyo's acceptance, it is naturally the best choice for Mai and others. Of course, right now, they just wanted to leave Kirigakyo. If Asahi wanted to really make these people have a sense of belonging to Iwagakyo, or even truly integrate into Iwagakyo, he can't do it in a few years, but Asahi doesn't care. As long as the first step is successful, there is naturally nothing to say about the later. The Kaguya clan and the Yuki clan have already finished their preparations. Asahi originally wanted to target the other clans, but it is not realistic. The Hozuki clan is now one of the largest clans to contend with Yagura's faction. Therefore, it is impossible for Asahi to dig them out. They still have the confidence to have a stalemate with Yagura. After checking other people's information these days, Asahi found that there is no one else to dig. As for Kaizame, he can't find him at all. Even if there is Keiji's help, he can't find Kaizame. After all, Keiji is just a jonin, so he can't find everyone's information. Asahi estimated that Kaizame was already brought by Obito, or is still in the assassination unit, so Asahi really has no way to dig him at all. Although there are a few acquaintances among the other people, they are only extras and he doesn't need them, so after Asahi reached an agreement with Mai, he didn't bother to care about the other people. Asahi-sama, Yuki clan, Kaguya clan, and Terumi Mai are all ready and can leave at any time. Soon, Keiji brought news. That's good, let them all get together and leave directly. I will help them open the path and drag the pursuers behind. You can just leave. Asahi said. Right now, he wanted to advantage of this opportunity to get a wave of experience. He felt that his mastery has been stagnant for too long, and he was wondering if he should go to the Ryumyaku vein to take a trip to increase his mastery, otherwise, it would be too difficult to increase his mastery like this. Asahi's plan is also very simple. He can just block the pursuers, and the others can just run. Mai and the others are there, so even if someone is chasing them, they won't be able to cause much harm. Asahi also feels that it is a pity that these people's strength is not enough, otherwise, he can give them the Divine Axe Ritter. When the Divine Axe Ritter bursts out, it would be equivalent to his not weak blow, but none of these people could hold it. After hearing Asahi's order, Keiji quickly brought the people from the three places together, but because the movement was too large, they were easily discovered by Kirigakyo's people. Cruel sun. Asahi didn't care about these people, so he just threw the sun towards them and kept blasting a broad road leading to the outside of the village. Fortunately, these people are not located very close to the inside of the village and the road just happens to lead to the outside, so Asahi made the path very easily. Go. You can just go by boat directly when you get to the coast, you don't need to wait for me, I will catch up soon. Asahi said as he carried the Divine Axe Ritter, while the others stopped for a moment and left directly. Although the surrounding shinobi wanted to get closer, when they see a demon like Asahi at the front, they didn't dare to get closer. Sir, what are we going to do now? Can we really just watch them leave? The ones in front of Asahi is the Kirigakyo's Hunter-nin Corps. At this moment, one of team leader asked the person with the highest position here. What do you think we should do? Do you think you can withstand the attack of this monster even once? Don't forget that this monster directly penetrated the defense of tens of thousands of our Kirigakyo's shinobi with his own power, we should wait for the other lords to come over. This person is wearing a mask, otherwise, everyone will be able to see the helpless expression on this person's face. It's not that he is too cowardly, but that the enemy is too perverted. Going there would just kill himself, so who would dare to go if they know this? Mai and the others left Kirigakyo without hindrance, and ran towards the coast continuously. Some people are following them, but Asahi would not let these people go, and directly threw the sun towards the shinobi chasing Mai and the others, and the sun exploded with these people. After this scene happened, no one dared to continue chasing. They knew that if they tried to chase those people, they would die. Is that Asahi no longer satisfied with only digging Konoha's people? He actually targets Kirigakyo this time, and he actually succeeded. Is it the condition of success that I created for him? I was really used again, but in that case, you need to help me too. That bastard White Zetsu, why didn't he report such a big thing to me? At this moment, Obito, who was controlling Yagura, showed a cruel smile. Although it was a bit uncomfortable to be used like this, he can't do anything about this, and he could also take advantage of Asahi now. He controlled Yagura just to destroy Kirigakyo, but this idea is actually not very practical, and it takes too long, so he could simply use Asahi's power to make Kirigakyo fall into the abyss. We would use each other, so it's a tie this time. Now, let's make a fuss, and help me get rid of Kirigakyo. Obito's eyes flashed with madness, but his head is still very clear. When Black Zetsu, who is hiding in the dark, sees Obito like this, didn't he have any emotional fluctuations? In the past few years, he has seen a lot of blackened people. After all, in the case of the Uchiha clan, when he was controlling everything behind the scenes, most of the Uchiha clan's people who awakened Mangekyou were blackened. For 1,000 years, he had seen people who was crazier than Obito, so he didn't feel any surprise. On the other side, after receiving Obito's final order, Yagura immediately turned into a Baiju in the village. Mitsukichi-sama, this is still inside the village, please don't become a Baiju. Seeing Yagura's appearance, the others immediately panicked. After all, changing into a Baiju in the village is the rhythm of destroying the village. But Yagura didn't pay attention to them, but opened his mouth and directly condensed a Baiju-dama. Obito wanted to play such a big game. Is he trying to throw the blame on me? Asahi is a little speechless. He knows the inside story, so he naturally knows what Obito wants to do, but he won't let Obito get what he wants. After all, Obito is also an enemy. Creator's thoughts. I am Pugui. Support me at Patreon. https://www.pat*korean.com/I am Pugui. Remove the asterisk. There are more than 100 chapter there. Comment. 7 comments. Vote. 1 left. Chapter 92, Chapter 92 Leaving Kirigakyo. Who would look at you stupidly using your big move? Asahi directly rushed to in front of Sanbi, and the Baiju-dama, which was not fully formed, was kicked into the sky by Asahi, and then exploded. Since Obito wanted him to destroy Kirigakyo, he won't do it. He wanted to see what Obito can do about it. The explosion of the Baiju-dama that seemed like a nuclear explosion also scared many shinobi around that they fell on their butts. Just now, they walked back and forth on the death line. At that distance, if Yagura's Baiju-dama really exploded, then their lives would be gone. Suddenly, they felt that Asahi has become more pleasing to their eye. He was no longer looked so demonic. Super slash. Asahi has never used pure slash type techniques in the past, and it's because there is no weapon that can withstand his strength. As long as he used a weapon, the first thing to be scrapped is the weapon, and even the technique will be useless. With this cut, all 3 tails of Sanbi were directly cut off, and also, its turtle shell was partly cut off, and one of the claws was also cut off. Asahi does not plan to kill Yagura directly here, otherwise, this one slash will be enough to directly split Sanbi into 2, but the current effect is not bad, as the power of this slash is not that Yagura can resist, so now he has lost his combat power. Kirigakyo's everyone, I have helped you deal with Yagura this time. What you do after this is up to you. Goodbye. After defeating Yagura, Asahi left directly. Now that most of the people here have lost their intent to fight, they won't give him much experience, so he just leaves. As for Yagura, he has already crippled him. After this, Kirigakyo's people will start vying for the Mitsukichi's position, and Yagura is definitely finished. Damn it, that bastard, he didn't even fight to the death with Kirigakyo. He was kind of ruthless on the battlefield before, so why did he become so soft now? Obito is cursing Asahi continuously. What kind of thing is this? Didn't you suppress tens of thousands of people on the battlefield? Why are you leaving now? You just crippled Yagura and ran away. Asahi didn't follow Obito's plan, so he was depressed and wanted to vomit blood. But how could he know that Asahi already knew well about him and Yugura, and what Yugura did was what Obito did, so Asahi has no reason to help Obito. He just messed with Obito and left. It's just went up by 1%, and it's only 54% now. It seems that the plan in the future needs to be put it on the agenda. First, go to Ryuchi Cave, then to Roran, and harvest everything that can be harvested. Anyway, there is no one I can continue to dig right now. Asahi is not very satisfied with the harvest this time. At most, what he harvested are just a few people who he wants to dig. As for the percentage, it's still just a little over the half, and the system has only appeared once or twice, and it seems that it has no sense of existence. But this system mechanism is just like this. Before he could fully master his power, there is no way to continue to draw the next one. In short, Asahi is very helpless about this. Soon, Asahi catches up with the people who are running, and protects them and leave together. After this incident, Asahi did not find another pursuer. Right now, in the entire Kirigakyo, who would dare to chase after him unless they are tired of living? Even Yugura with complete Baiju mode was defeated with one strike. Right now, the elders of Kirigakyo are busy. After the bloody mist policy of Yugura has been broken, what they needed to do is to appease their people. But this is not simple, as the most important question is, who should be the next Mitsukage? The remaining members of the Kaguya clan are all ambitious people. The Otsutsuki Clan is notoriously cold-blooded and crazy, so they also began to plan to obtain Mitsukage's position, and another round of turmoil began in Kirigakyo. Of course, that's another story. In short, no one dared to chase Asahi and the others, so Asahi and his group arrived at the port of Land of Water very safely, and then left the Land of Water by boat. I didn't expect that I would become a traitor one day. It's something I never thought of. Mai shook her head. She is a genius shinobi, but she is a traitor. It is because of her genius that she became a traitor. Looking at the Land of Water that is getting farther and farther, she would be lying if she says that there is no nostalgia. Kirigakyo's people won't dare to turn you all into missing nin. Even Konoha has directly cancelled the missing nin identities of Orochimaru and Tsunade. Although there are still bounties on the black market, on the surface, no village dares to show hostility to Iwagakyo's shinobi unless they want to die. Asahi shook his head. Even if someone is not a missing nin, the black market would still have bounties of them. This is a hidden rule. On the black market, even the kid of a great shinobi village has bounty, including Asahi. It's just that these people are taboo, and no one dared to come and take their bounties. Unless it is an idiot like Kakuzu who thought that he could kill Senju Hashirama. After suffering such a loss, Kakuzu naturally didn't dare to cause troubles, and he didn't even dare to touch kid-level powerhouses. Although the bounty hunters hunted people to eat, it doesn't mean they are stupid. And Asahi's reward is still so high and remained the highest in the shinobi world. Basically, the people in the other shinobi villages have paid a big price to take Asahi's head, but no one dared to do it at all. There are a few idiots who want to try their luck, but before they meet Asahi, they are dealt with by the other Iwagakyo's shinobi. It can be said that they are very miserable. Even if I'm not a missing nin, no one likes to leave their hometown. Mai said helplessly, this is homesickness okay. I know, but you don't have other choice, right? So, try to find a way to integrate into Iwagakyo as soon as possible. Later, you will find that it is actually good to have another home. Asahi said with some humor. Although his words made people roll their eyes, but it is quite right. After all, how can they go back even if they are worried? Well, you are reasonable, but I don't care about you. After being messed around by Asahi, Mai no longer has homesickness, and she was just a little aggrieved. What do you mean I have no choice? If it wasn't for you, would I leave? Asahi also smiled maliciously, and laughed loudly, making Mai wish she could to clean him up directly, but knowing that she is not his opponent, Mai can only give up. Sure enough, young people are, is Asahi-sama really only 12 years old? Why does he feel so much like the older generation? At this moment, Keiji is also constantly thinking about this issue. How could he know that Asahi is a traverser, so according to the age of his soul, Asahi is already 30 years old. Creator's thoughts. I am Pugwi. Support me at Patreon. https://www.pat*korean.com/I am Poor Guy. Remove the asterisk. There are more than 100 chapter there. Comment. 5 comments. Vote. 1 left. Chapter 93. Chapter 93. The inexplicable scene of carnage. After leaving the land of water, Asahi led the group of people through Konoha's side, and then entered Iwagakure. In fact, they were already noticed by the other great shinobi villages, but since Asahi was in the group, they didn't dare to move, and they could only ignore this group of people. The great shinobi villages were forced by Asahi to ignore him, which is a very helpless fact. As for Kirigakure, although the other villages are fighting fiercely, it does not prevent them from laughing at Kirigakure. Especially Konoha, seeing that another village besides them have also been dug by Iwagakure, they are relieved. After all, Konoha finally does not have to bear such a heavy burden alone, and they are very happy to share it with Kirigakure. And Tsunegakure and Kumogakure began to worry about the problems in their village after gloating. After all, Kirigakure was also dug up by Iwagakure. Originally, when so many people were dug out from Konoha, they just thought that it was because of Konoha's problem, and it gave Iwagakure the opportunity. But this time, so many people were also dug out from Kirigakure, so when thinking of this, the other two villages couldn't help but becomes alert. Fearing that Iwagakure would target the talents of their villages, for a while, they took care of their people better. After all, Iwagakure is now a bit omnipresent, so precautions are necessary. At this moment, Tsunegakure and Kumogakure have become a little suspicious, as they are afraid that someday Iwagakure's people will dig out some of their people. If their people are dug up, they can only watch it happen helplessly. After all, Asahi's deterrent power is too great. These villages were scared by Iwagakure, and Asahi didn't know about it. After he returned to Iwagakure with this group of people, he also settled these people down. Iwagakure has now become more and more prosperous, and even the village has expanded a lot, as the previous village can't afford to hold the people from all over the world, with some come to settle down and some come to do business. And Asahi also got a piece of good news. After Konoha in trouble before, many people from Konoha came to Iwagakure, and even Tenten's family in the original work came over. According to Asahi's opinion, Tenten is definitely the second richest person in the shinobi world. The richest person is Kanon, and the second richest person is Tenten. After all, explosive tags and ninja tools require money to get, and these two used so much of them in the original work. Because Konoha was fragmented by Asahi, it was difficult to protect themselves. As a businessman, Tenten's father naturally had to withdraw from Konoha. After all, businessman was always chasing profits, and Iwagakure was the next largest economic center after Konoha, so they came here. After Asahi knew this, he was a little surprised. Although he can't dig up a lot of Konoha 11, this is also good news, isn't it? After this family came to Iwagakure, Asahi finally learned how big the business of this family is from the information. He finally understood that Tenten had such a huge number of ninja tools in the later period. Before this family came over, they also sent people to ask the old man for help to leave Konoha, because their family is equivalent to an arms dealer. If others leave, Sundame don't have much to say. But when Tenten's family left, Konoha can only go to the land of iron by themselves if they wanted ninja tools. Not only it would consume energy, but also consumes money and manpower. And Tenten's family is very smart, knowing that Konoha will not let them go, they directly ask Iwagakure for help, and then Iwagakure's people are responsible for leading them away. No matter how bold he is, Sundame wouldn't dare to do anything to Iwagakure's people at this time. After all, if Iwagakure is really offended, Konoha will be finished. So Sundame can only powerlessly watch a huge arms dealer left Konoha to another village. However, it didn't really matter to Asahi. Right now, he has some headaches because of the girls. For some reason, only Kushina often came to look for him, but slowly Tsunade also got in. But these two can be said to be sister, so there was no problem, but after Mai came, the situation changed. Asahi didn't even try to do anything to her, but it is unknown whether Mai has gone crazy. As a result, this girl ran to him almost every day. As the saying goes, how can you not wet your shoes when walking by the river? Asahi is now in trouble, and the fuse of everything is Mai. Right now, 3 people are sitting in 3-way positions in his living room. Although everyone is drinking tea and didn't say anything, but the atmosphere is kind of stressing. To be honest, Asahi would rather find all the powerhouses in the other Shinobi villages for a fight than facing this situation. As the master of this house, why are you still not planning to say anything? In the end, Kushina spoke first, but the fiery red aura on her body was a bit too strong, and at first glance, she felt like a fiery red devil. Well, what can I say? Can I say that I am also very confused? You shouldn't ask me. Terumi, tell me, why are you coming here these few days? Asahi felt his scalp numb. He felt that he has taken care of this matter greatly, but who knew that Mai would light the fire? Isn't it you who wanted me to find a sense of belonging in Iwagakure? I am not familiar with my life here, so I can only come to see you, my brother. A smile was drawn at the corner of Mai's mouth as she spoke slowly. Brother. I will make you call me father sooner or later. Asahi murmured inwardly, and he found that this woman seemed to be doing it on purpose. He also felt that he didn't seem to have done anything to her. Was it because I had messed with her several times? Is she that stingy? That's right, this girl is just so stingy. Why don't you go to Uncle Keiji? Isn't it better to go to Uncle Keiji? After all, he had been in Kirigakure for so many years. Asahi calmed down and said, holding the urge to complain. That won't work. When I think of him as a spy who has been sneaking in our village for so many years, I can't look at him directly, so it's better to come to you. After all, we are about the same age and have a common language. Mai emphasized her age, and these words are like two sharp swords that pierced Kushina and Tsunad's hearts in an instant. Kushina is a little better, and Tsunad was slapped right in the face. However, after thinking about she doesn't care, after all, in a few decades, Mai without the Yin seal will look much older than her, so her mind calmed down quickly. Tsunad believed that sooner or later, Mai will come to beg her. After all, no woman can bear the temptation of eternal youth. Creator's thoughts. I am Pugwi. Support me at Patreon. https://www.pat*korean.com/I am Porguy. Remove the asterisk. There are more than 100 chapter there. Comment. 5 comments. Vote. 1 left. Chapter 94, Chapter 94 Asahi, find Uncle Snake seek refuge. Age. What a pity, you don't have the Yin seal developed by Sister Tsunad. Maybe in a few decades, someone will be regarded as a character of my grandma's generation. Kushina suddenly remembered the Yin seal, and attacked Mai directly. Mai didn't know much about the Yin seal. After all, even if Tsunad like this now, the others still can't see much change, and only think that she is taking good care of her appearance. Putting makeup should be the one called real sorcery. Tsunad has long since stopped showing herself in the Shinobi world because of her hemophobia. And Mai is in the younger generation, so she doesn't know the ability of Yin seal at all, let alone her. Even some older generation is not too clear about this. Seeing Mai's confused look, Kushina knew that there would be a drama, and immediately turned on the bragging mode, and began to show off the ability of Yin seal. As soon as she heard this, Mai's momentum dropped sharply. Sure enough, this kind of thing is fatal to any woman. Knowing that she will be old, Mai has no choice but to accept. But when she heard that other people can still look young and beautiful, and she really wished to have such an ability. It is impossible for her to beg for these two girls in front of her, so she could only turn her gaze of asking help to the location where Asahi was. But after she turned her gaze to that location, she found that Asahi, who was supposed to be sitting there, had already disappeared without a trace. What? Where is he? Mai, who was a little confused, looked at that position with a puzzled look. She didn't know how Asahi disappeared in a blink of an eye. After hearing Mai's words, Tsunad and Kushina also diverted their attention, and found that Asahi indeed was gone. They still wanted him to plead guilty, but Asahi was nowhere to be seen. Tsunad-sama, when you talked about the Yin seal, Asahi-sama left from the window. Shitsune rarely interjected, as she was also a little amused. Just now, when Asahi left, he quietly winked at her, and signaled her not to say anything, and then ran away. It can only be said that the lethality of these three women is too great, as they can even scare away the one known as the god of Shinobi. He ran away. Forget it then, I'll just find him next time to settle the account. Tsunad was also helpless. In the end, she could only leave with Shitsune and Kushina. As for Mai, she has already begun to wonder how to make peace and get closer with Kushina and the others. After all, which woman doesn't want to always look young? As for the specific method, it depends on how she operates it. In short, Asahi have no control of these now. At this moment, Asahi has arrived at Onaki's office. He doesn't want to stay in that hell-like place, as it's too terrifying for him. He didn't expect Mai would be so vengeful that she lit up the fire, so he decisively chose to go out and seek refuge first. You wanted to go out for a while again. Don't you care about the Shinobi World's current situation? Onaki gave Asahi a weird look. The war was started by Asahi, but now, he wanted to leave. It's not a big deal. There are not many things happening in the Shinobi World right now. It's nothing more than Konoha still has the Uchiha clan, and we're still waiting for the Uchiha clan to come to us for help. So there's nothing to do. By the way, don't save them by yourself. The Uchiha clan is too arrogant now, so it won't work if we don't let them experience a heavy beating. As for the two villages, when you want to make a move, you can make a move, but if you don't want to make a move, it's fine, but I personally suggest that it is better to make a move. After all, we would be an idiot if we don't take advantage of the situation. If they still have not finished fighting when I come back, then I will take care of it myself. By the way, remember to tell Kushina to pay attention at the village often, and use Mind's Eye of the Kagura to investigate once a day. In addition, remember to notify me if there are any urgent things, and also, don't let Baiju and Jinchuriki go out alone. If they wanted to go out, they need to form a team. After Asahi explained a series of things, he left directly. He didn't dare to stay in the village anymore. Moreover, he is very confused right now. He wanted to know how those transmigrators have a harem of hundreds of thousands of people without having any trouble. Right now, he only has two, and the third one is still not included. However, there's already a lot of troubles and he felt like he is going to die. It seems that it is really not easy to create this harem. Really, can't you just take over the Sushikige's position yourself? Although this Sushikige's position is indeed a little tiring, has a little more work, is a little annoying, and I can't get a rest all day long. Onoki originally wanted to convince Asahi that Sushikige's position is good, but after saying this, forget it, it's not bad to be the Sushikige, but who will be the next Sushikige? Tsunade is good, and I trust her, but the time she come here is too short. I estimated that no one would refute her taking this position in another 5 or 8 years, so I can only put her aside for the time being, and there are no other candidates beside her. The most suitable one is Asahi, but he ran away, and didn't need this position at all. As for Kitsuchi, sure enough, I should just wait. In desperation, Onaki could only continue to sit in this position by himself. Fortunately, he had already divided a lot of power to the people below, otherwise, he estimated that he would not be able to leave this office any longer. On the other side, Asahi went directly to the moon. He planned to see how Orochimaru's research progress was. The research for Tensogun still needed Orochimaru's help. After all, the Hyuga clan had already been dug up, so if the method of awakening Tensogun can be obtained, although he won't popularize it, it's not impossible to make just a few of them. More importantly, Orochimaru has an experience pack with him. After entering the Land of Fire, Asahi entered the interior of the Moon Palace with ease, and soon found Orochimaru. Now, Orochimaru has dug Hamura's grave, but unfortunately, after Hamura's grave was dug, there is only one skeleton in it, and the corpse is already rotten. After all, both Hamura and Hagoromo both died of old age, so their body will naturally decay. Because of that, there is no good pair of Tensogun here. This place has also been transformed by Orochimaru, and without any disturbance, Orochimaru started climbing the technology tree. He has already tinkered with the cloning technology, and even the Tensogun's research has begun, but his speed has not been so fast. His own living corpse reincarnation was also created, but in order to prepare for a perfect body, Orochimaru had to do more preparations. If Tensogun can be created during this period, Orochimaru can have a body with Tensogun. So at this stage, Orochimaru is still continuing to study. Creator's thoughts. I am Pugwi. Support me at Patreon. https://www.pat*korean.com/I am Pugwi Remove the asterisk. There are more than 100 chapter there. Comment. 5 comments. Vote. 1 left. Chapter 95, Chapter 95 Educating Manda. How come you are free to come here now? Don't you always think that it is very boring with me here? Seeing Asahi's arrival, Orochimaru asked curiously. In fact, besides Orochimaru, there are some other people here. They can be said to be scientist-like figures of Iwagakure, but they are not comparable to Orochimaru. They are here to help Orochimaru. With them here, Orochimaru's research progress will be able to progress faster. Although Orochimaru can use Shadow Clone himself, this technique consumes a lot of energy after all and is not suitable for long-term use. Not everyone is like Naruto, who can use Shadow Clone technique, and multiple Shadow Clone technique again and again easily and without any side effects. Those techniques are called forbidden techniques for a reason. For those who are not mentally strong, even if they have enough chakra and they can create hundreds or thousands of shadow clones to help, but after a while, the countless amount of information from these shadow clones will burst their brains, so this is not something everyone can use. Moreover, Orochimaru regularly needs to transport some supplies and research materials here, and there is no strict concealment. Of course, his research is still confidential, at least in Iwagakure, except for the ones with top-level authority. No one can casually check about the information of Orochimaru and the moon. And the only person who can contact the giant Tensogun is Orochimaru. Just in case, Orochimaru even set up a lot of barriers inside, and there are even many powerful trigger seals set by Kushina. Basically, if whoever does not get permission dare to approach it, then prepare for tragedy. For the huge Tensogun, Asahi can safely give it to Orochimaru and the few others, but he is not assured to give it to the others. After all, he is only one person, and Shadow Clone can't carry his sunshine, so it is inevitable that the Shadow Clone is useless, but he left 2 reverse summoning scroll in the moon and the village, just in case. It's very boring, but it's better than confronting Tsunade and the others, so I took refuge here temporarily. By the way, when you summon Manda, didn't that guy keep asking you for sacrifices? I'll help you educate him. Asahi squeezed his fists as he said that. Manda is also a real kid-level combat power, so he plans to use him to get some experience, and if he remembers correctly, Manda's skin seems to be very thick. Deidara's final explosion didn't explode him to death, so it can be said that Manda was a perfect sandbag. Moreover, it would be better if Manda went back to call reinforcements to deal with Asahi. It turns out that it's because of Tsunade and the others. As expected, things like feelings can also be used in research projects. Things that can make a strong person like you retreat is really worth studying. Orochimaru began to enter the strange mode. Asahi looked at Orochimaru speechlessly. He didn't expect that Orochimaru is becoming more and more like a robot as he wanted to research something like emotion. Just kidding, it just happens that there is some problem with Manda, and I don't have time to take care of him. It would be best if you can help me educate him. Orochimaru said with a sinister smile. If it wasn't because of Manda's strength, he wouldn't have bothered to use this kind of summoned beast, as every time he called Manda, he needs to give him a lot of sacrifices, and these sacrifices are all people. It's okay if it's on the battlefield, as Manda can eat all the enemy he wanted, but when there is no war, he must be educated well. Don't worry, leave it to me. I will help you educate Manda so that he can completely obey you. That snake has never experienced the severe beatings of the society. Then, let's go outside and call him. Asahi said amusingly. As for whether Manda will run, he is not worried at all. It won't be a big deal if he ran, as he can just chase after him. After all, Orochimaru knows where Ryuchi Cave is. At most, he can just ask Orochimaru to call the other snakes to reverse summon him there. Moreover, with Manda's arrogant temperament, he will never run away after Asahi said a few words. Summoning technique. Orochimaru bit his finger, formed a few hand seals and then slammed his palm onto the ground. Summoning symbols spread out, and then with a loud noise, a large, terrifying snake appeared in front of the two. Then, I'll leave it to you. I still have something to do, so I'll go back first. After saying that, Orochimaru didn't even look at Manda and left, but Manda was a little dumbfounded. He was summoned by Orochimaru, but now, Orochimaru left after summoning him. What is this called? Hey, Manda, this is the first time we met. Let me introduce myself. My name is Asahi. I am Orochimaru's companion. As for the purpose of calling you out this time, it is to educate you. I'm going to teach you how to be a qualified summoned beast. Asahi said with a smile while rubbing his hands together, but after Manda heard this, his head stopped working instantly. Ha 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 ha, that guy Orochimaru wants to find someone to teach me a lesson. It just so happens that I'm a little hungry. I will eat you first, and then go to him and ask him what he means. Manda burst into laughter, and then his tail swept towards Asahi. The huge tail smashed towards Asahi like a giant steel whip, but Asahi just raised his left hand and directly blocked it, and the tail could no longer move. How can it be? Manda was shocked. He knew how powerful he is, but right now, a human actually blocked his tail with brute force. Boy, who are you? Are you Tsunad's relative? At this moment, the only person Manda can think of is Tsunad. In terms of strength, she is the only human who can do such thing. Tsunad indeed has something to do with me, but I don't use her chakra-enhanced strength. Then, it's my turn to take action now. Manda, you have been using your tail to whip the others, but have you ever been smoked? Asahi suddenly disappeared, and then slapped Manda's giant snake head directly with a slap. In an instant, Manda seemed to have been hit by a meteorite, and his head flew higher and higher along with his body. After all of his body left the ground, he flew into the air. After that, he fell and directly smashed a huge hole in the forest, but fortunately, Asahi didn't use too much strength, so Manda didn't directly fly out of the moon. Impossible, how can a human being have such a huge power? Manda finally came back to his senses, and only felt the pain from his snake face. This was the social beating from Asahi. At this moment, shock could no longer describe what Manda is feeling in his heart. Creator's thoughts. I am Pugwi. Support me at Patreon. https://www.pat*korean.com/I am Pugwi. Remove the asterisk. There are more than 100 chapter there. Comment. 2 comments. Vote. 1 left. Chapter 96. Chapter 96. Go to Ryuchi Cave. Stop talking nonsense and continue. Don't you think you are awesome? You won't run away, right? After all, there's no way Manda, the strongest snake in the Ryuchi Cave, would be beaten so much that he wanted to run away, right? In order to prevent Manda from running away directly, Asahi stimulated Manda a little bit. Considering the character of this snake, Asahi believed that he won't run away in a short time at least. Damn human, who are you saying want to run away? Now, let you show what real power is. I was being carelessness just now. I will kill you now. After Manda finished speaking, he burrowed directly into the ground, and then moved in the ground. Originally, this method was not bad. After Manda got into the ground, there would be very little movement and it was very convenient to sneak attack others, but against an existence like Asahi, he can easily be located, as Asahi can detect such strong vitality from under the ground. Just when Asahi looked at Manda and was going to see what tricks this snake would use, he saw that the land in front of him exploded in an instant, and then Manda's tail sprang out of the ground. As Manda's body is huge, even the tip of his tail is like a super huge spear, but after the spear shot towards Asahi, it was pinched by Asahi very easily. Then, he stepped on the ground and the ground shattered to pieces. Manda was also affected by the huge force, and felt dizzy, while Asahi rushed up and directly pulled Manda's tail. Right now, Manda is like radish that is pulled directly from the ground. Naturally, there is no need to say more after that. Asahi started the social beating of Manda. This time, Manda didn't care about his face or pride, and just ran away. This is the special feature of summoned beasts. If they can't beat the enemy, they will just run away. As long as the enemy don't chase them to their lair, summoned beasts are actually the safest. He really ran away, but fortunately, it's not that there is no gain, as the percentage has also increased a little. Seeing that the percentage has risen to 55%, Asahi made a decision to go to Ryuchi Cave. Manda is only small fry. And it is estimated that the White Snake Sage is the real experience package. Moreover, the background of Ryuchi Cave is much stronger than a great Shinobi village is, so he would feel sorry for himself if he didn't harvest it. Thinking of this, Asahi decisively went to Orochimaru. If you want to go to Ryuchi Cave, I personally suggest you to be more careful. After all, when I found Ryuchi Cave, it was not a good feeling. Orochimaru told Asahi that Ryuchi Cave is not simple, and even very strong. It was because Tsunade signed a contract with Katsuyu, and Jiraiya was also approached by Mount Myoboku due to a mistake. In order to catch up with the two, he went to find Ryuchi Cave. After all, the summoned beast Holy Land, known as the Three Holy Lands, is not a joke. The inheritance of these three holy lands is not chakra inheritance, but sage art, which is something that exists in the world from the very beginning, so truth-seeking ball can eliminate everything, but it's totally useless with sage art. But it turned out to be a pity, as Orochimaru didn't have the qualification to become a sage, but Asahi couldn't help but think of Boruto, remembered Boruto's experience, and then look at Orochimaru. He felt that Orochimaru might cry in the toilet if he knew this. At that time, Asahi still remembered that he was watching Boruto to watch Naruto and Sasuke fight with the two Otsutsuki. After that, he didn't pay much attention to it. He remembered that he had watched 30 episodes of it, which was really sucks. The strength that the older generation has trained and fought so hard to obtain, but the latter generation can directly obtain it out of nowhere, and it's really hurt to look at. Of course, those things are not important. Asahi now wanted to go to Ryuchi Cave to see what's going on inside. Don't worry, you still don't know my strength, it'll be fine. Asahi said without worry, and Orochimaru was helpless, so he could only summon a few giant pythons, and then made the reverse summoning scroll, and then used the scroll to reverse summon Asahi into Ryuchi Cave. If I want to increase the percentage, I must get them to be hostile. Listen, all the snakes inside. Here comes the house destroyer. Asahi let out a loud roar. He needed to arouse the hostility inside first if he wanted to get experience. He doesn't know why, but he has a feeling that he is now trying to grind experience in a dungeon. And this Ryuchi Cave seems to be a super large dungeon. This roar is not normal, as Asahi concentrated his strength into the sound, so all the creatures inside heard this roar. This time, Asahi just directly stabbed the snake's nest. The snakes that were summoned by Orochimaru before were also stunned. What's going on? Isn't this guy Orochimaru's friend? Why would he come to Ryuchi Cave to cause trouble? It's too much. But just as these snakes were thinking of this, there are already bursts of riots inside. It is estimated that this is also the first time that the snake here has encountered a person who has come to destroy their homes in so many years. Damn, that bastard chased me to Ryuchi Cave. That guy Orochimaru actually dared to do such thing. Manda was frightened, angry, and in disbelief. He didn't understand why would Orochimaru tear his face with their Ryuchi Cave. Of course, his thought is kind of wrong, after all, Orochimaru didn't need to fight now. And once his research is successful, Ryuchi Cave can only be in supporting role, and are not Orochimaru's opponent at all. So Orochimaru doesn't care. If Asahi wants to come, he naturally sends Asahi over. Ryuchi Cave has never been Orochimaru's companion, just a transaction partner. After all, the other party is a snake, and snakes are cold-blooded. Soon, a large number of large and small snakes surrounded Asahi. The small ones were only 1 meter long, as thick as chopsticks, and the large ones were at the level of Manda, and there are also a lot of them. Asahi didn't mean to talk nonsense with the other party, so he started the fight directly, and immediately defeated the snakes. It was too much to start the war without saying a word, but even if they are prepared, how could they be Asahi's opponent? However, Asahi didn't kill them either. At most, he seriously injured his opponents. He went so fast all the way, and Asahi's percentage was also rising crazily. Here, there are snakes who are on the same level as Manda, although it can't be said that there are many of those, there are still quite a few. After 10 minutes, Asahi's percentage jumped directly from 55% to 70%, as there are too many snakes here. Asahi has no doubt that if all the snakes in Ryuchi Cave ran out, destroying a great shinobi village is only a matter of minutes. This is the foundation of the Three Holy Lands. In addition to Manda-level snakes, Asahi also encountered a few giant snakes who know Sage Art. Although they are not on the same level as White Snake Sage, after mastering Sage Art, all of them are very strong. Creator's thoughts. I am Pugwi. Support me at Patreon. https://www.pat*korean.com/I am poor guy. Remove the asterisk. There are more than 100 chapter there. Comment. 4 comments. Vote. 1 left. Chapter 97, Chapter 97 Harvesting Experience. From what Asahi sees now, it can be said that there are countless ordinary snakes. If Ryuchi Cave wants to break through any Shinobi village, there is no need for the powerhouses to take action. Just with the ordinary snakes crawling in, the village could be swallowed. Even if the experts can survive, civilians, genin and chunin are different. These snakes can definitely beat a Shinobi village, and only the existence on top like Jonin and Kid level powerhouses can survive against these snakes, but it's not including the other snakes. There are still many giant snakes that reach Manda level. There are also snakes that can use Sage Art, and most importantly, there is still White Snake Sage. Sure enough, the Holy Land is a holy land, as these snakes are terrifying. Of course, in a matter of minutes, Asahi has directly pierced through this place, and he still didn't encounter any snakes that is transforming into humans at this time. To put it bluntly, it is simply a snake pit, and these snakes naturally disdain to become humans. Gloomy, this is Asahi's only understanding of Ryuchi Cave. Human, what is your purpose and why did you come to Ryuchi Cave to make trouble? At this moment, from the depths of Ryuchi Cave, there was a voice that was somewhat old but also full of confidence. White Snake Sage. The lord of this place has finally come out. Asahi's eyes lit up, and then he rushed in the direction of the voice, but before he could get far, a white snake body blocked his way. With a wave of the divine axe Ritter, the snake body was directly divided into 2 without any hindrance, but what Asahi did not expect is that after the snake body was cut, it twisted a few times and connected together again, and it was instantly healed. What an exaggerated self-healing. Asahi felt a little shocked when he saw this. This kind of recovery ability is like cutting off a person's arm directly, and then reattaching it very easily. It can be compared to Madara directly cut White Zetsu's arm and set it on himself, and he recovered in an instant. When chakra and sage art have reached a certain level, it is indeed very exaggerated, and even can directly create body parts. Humans, who allowed you to go wild in Ryuchi Cave? This time, the White Snake Sage didn't speak anymore, but there are a few more women, but Asahi doesn't know these women very well, he only a little bit, and he can't even remember their names, but he knew that these women are real snakes. A few snakes who know Sage Art actually popped out at once. I always feel that even Mount Myobaku would be suppressed by your Ryuchi Cave. Asahi didn't bother to talk nonsense, and 70% of his power burst out in an instant. The sun's flame this time was the most powerful one Asahi has ever used, and even Asahi's location was burned and melted. Right now, Asahi is like the incarnation of the sun god, and he can even levitate in the air without stepping on the small sun now. His hiss. The surrounding snakes were roasted beyond recognition, the stronger ones ran away, but the weaker ones were directly turned into ashes. At this moment, after Asahi took action, no one could resist him. After approaching the White Snake Sage's body, the section of the White Snake Sage's body also automatically turned to ashes. During this period, the members of Ryuchi Cave, who are proficient in Sage Art, were continuously released various techniques to attack Asahi, but none of them were useful. Wherever the sun passed, everything was burned. Soon, Asahi rushed into the place where the White Snake Sage was, which looked a bit like a temple, and after Asahi entered here, it brightened directly. What a terrifying power! When did humans master such power? It is obviously not chakra. If we're just talking about chakra, he is not even comparable to the weakest Jonin. The White Snake Sage was very puzzled, and shocked by Asahi's burst of power. She hasn't walked in the Shinobi world for so many years, so she didn't know about Asahi's existence. Even after living in the Shinobi world for so long, she has never such a thing, so Asahi has really taught him a lesson today. White Snake Sage, come out and fight. Asahi glanced at the Snake Sages, who were still around him, and waved his hand directly. Then, as if fireworks were blooming, the Snake Sages around him were directly bombarded. After defeating these snakes, Asahi's percentage rose again to 76%. After defeating White Snake Sage, maybe I can come to Ryuchi Cave again sometime later to collect experience again. Asahi thinks it's feasible. After all, these snakes are pretty petty. He came in to make trouble this time, so these snakes would definitely cause trouble to him. Even if he defeated the White Snake Sage, these snakes would still hold a hatred towards him. The most important thing is that Asahi only killed some insignificant little snakes, so if Asahi comes here again later, these guys will definitely make trouble for him. There is no need to go to other places, just in Ryuchi Cave, Asahi can increase his percentage to 100%, and then draw a new ability. He has tasted the sweetness of the power of the sunshine, so he is looking forward to see what ability he will draw next. Humans, don't get too carried away. I will teach you today not to underestimate the power of this world. Although Asahi's power is a bit terrifying, the White Snake Sage is not a vegetarian. She is an old monster that can live for thousands of years, so she is not simple. In almost an instant, White Snake Sage's body spread all over the space, and it seemed like there was no end. That kind of trick is useless to me, super slash. With a wave of the divine axe Ritter, a golden slash instantly split all the snake bodies in front of him, but after these snake bodies were separated, they continued to fuse again. At the same time, the White Snake Sage also rushed out of the temple and bit at Asahi. What a fast speed! As expected of the White Snake Sage. The speed of the White Snake Sage managed to surprise Asahi. It only took a moment of effort to reach Asahi's location, and this is the fastest and most violent of all attacks Asahi has seen. Compared with Sundame Raikage, they can't be compared at all. However, Asahi can still handle such a speed. He used his axe to block the attack directly, jamming the mouth of the White Snake Sage, but the power that the White Snake Sage showed was also terrifying. And Asahi couldn't pull back his axe with his brute force for a while. This is the first existence Asahi has ever seen that can wrestle with him in strength. Creator's thoughts. I am Pugwi. Support me at Patreon. https://www.pat*korean.com/I am Pugwi. Remove the asterisk. There are more than 100 chapter there. Comment. 4 comments. Vote. 1 left. Chapter 98. Chapter 98 6 Paths White Snake Sage. Just when Asahi intended to use more strength to pull the divine axe Ritter, a shock wave came out from White Snake Sage's mouth, appeared in a circular ring shape and spreading in all directions, and even Asahi was somewhat affected. White Snake Sage, has your strength already reached Sage of 6 Paths level? Although it affected him, the impact was not great, but regarding White Snake Sage's strength, Asahi was still shocked. As he felt that it would be difficult to deal with the other party. Are you talking about that guy Hagoromo? I didn't expect you to know this kind of thing. His strength is indeed good, but he is always only outsider. Even if he learned that Stinky Toad's Sage Art, it is impossible to develop Sage Art to the extreme. I was indeed not his opponent at the beginning, but compared to his strength, my strength is accumulated bit by bit. The White Snake Sage didn't seem to be serious, as she has answered Asahi's question now, but the meaning of her words is very obvious. She looks down on Sage of 6 Paths, as Sage of 6 Paths power comes from Bloodline and Jubi. Perhaps, the White Snake Sage also looked down on Jubi. She has spent thousands of years improving the local Sage Art to the extreme existence, and she has reached that level, or even a little stronger. Should I say as expected of Sage Art? It's really amazing enough, so I will stop holding back, as I felt that you shouldn't die. Asahi said and let go of his hand, letting the White Snake Sage take away his axe. Seeing this, White Snake Sage looked at Asahi with some doubts, and directly threw the axe to the wall, and the axe smashed through the walls, and it flew to who knows where. You're really arrogant. Even that toad wouldn't dare to say such things in front of me. If you think you can do it, you can try it. If you can't do it, then you don't expect to come out alive today. A ferocious light flashed in White Snake Sage's eyes. Don't look at her voice now, as you can't hear happiness or anger in her voice. Asahi came to Ryuchi Cave to make trouble after all, so even if she said it very calmly, this kind of existence has long been able to deeply bury their emotion in their heart. Then you may be disappointed. If I want to go out, no one can stop me. Asahi looked at the White Snake Sage with a smile, and then threw his fist directly. He actually didn't need weapons like Ritter. Strictly speaking, Rita can only be regarded as a controller, a tool to control the amount of his power. It can indeed be used against ordinary people, but against the existence at 6 paths level, Asahi doesn't need the divine axe Rita. He can just use his fist and it'll be done. His fist hit White Snake Sage's head, and the White Snake Sage's head was directly smashed to the wall, and even her snake body was directly stopped. Asahi was also hit by the White Snake Sage's attack and took a few steps back. In the case that he didn't use the ultimate move, 6 paths level can barely compete with him. Of course, he feels that if he used his ultimate move, even 6 paths level can also be killed. Right now, he has only mastered 3/4 of his strength, and only the last quarter of his strength is left. Once this last quarter is mastered, it can be said that he would reach the complete state. Not complete state and complete state are completely two concepts. Just like Kyuubi, who was separated into two, after the two sides fused, it is more than just 1 + 1. Although the power of this punch is great, it doesn't seem to cause much effect on the White Snake Sage. Her snake body once again surrounds Asahi, and this time, it flashes with a trace of color, and then the snake scales suddenly stood up and turned into blade-like existence. The snake body then began to spin frantically, coming closer to Asahi from all directions. However, Asahi didn't care much about such tricks. The snake body was blasted with a single shot of the sun, but this time, the snake body was not destroyed directly, as its defense power has increased. Did he use natural energy? Asahi was taken aback. For White Snake Sage's defensive power to suddenly surge, Asahi couldn't think of any other way besides using natural energy, but in the next second, the snake body disappeared completely, as if it never existed. Invisibility. Asahi can sense that the surrounding snake bodies are still there, but this invisibility ability is also very strong, as when the snake body is moving, it didn't even emit any sound, and the air also didn't change. Ordinary sensor shinobi might probably be blinded by this kind of thing, but for Asahi, the snake body is still completely visible. In order to end this battle quickly, Asahi's right hand turned to knife shape, and the power of the sunshine skyrocketed by another level. Divine Sword. It's obviously just a hand knife, but looking at Asahi's right hand at this moment, the snake sages around, including the White Snake Sage, can feel that this arm is not an arm at all, but a terrifying big sword. When the divine sword fell, White Snake Sage's strengthened snake body was cut like a tofu, and it was directly cut open. The entire underground space of Ryuchi Cave was also divided into two. It can be said that Asahi's move has directly destroyed the entire Ryuchi Cave. Okay human, put away your power, I surrender. At this moment, White Snake Sage's snake body is constantly recovering, but she is also frightened by this technique. Although her self-healing was powerful, if this technique is aimed at her head, she will still die. So she didn't dare to fight anymore, and Ryuchi Cave had also been cut in half. 10%. It's worth so much. A 6 paths level existence actually gave as much as 10%. Asahi feels that the 6 paths level is indeed awesome, as it has improved his mastery by 10% in one breath. When he came to Ryuchi Cave today, his mastery jumped from 55% to 86%. If he counts him beating Manda outside, his mastery would have risen by 32%. With 32% increase, only the last 14% is left. If you surrender, then forget it, I'll go first. Asahi didn't say much. He took back the divine axe Rita and left. He has already made plans. When Ryuchi Cave recovers, he will come again. Even if he showed such extraordinary strength, Ryuchi Cave snakes must still be quite angry. They belong to the state of daring to be angry but not daring to speak. And as long as they are hostile, he can get his percentage increase by fighting them. I'll harvest Ryuchi Cave again in the future. Asahi then contacted Orochimaru again, and then left Ryuchi Cave. After knowing that Asahi had directly invaded Ryuchi Cave, Orochimaru was very surprised. In his opinion, Asahi's strength is indeed invincible, but Ryuchi Cave still has the White Snake Sage, whose depth is unknown. But Asahi has even defeated the White Snake Sage, which he never expected. After all, the title of the White Snake Sage is too scary, she is a bona fide 1,000-years-old monster. Creator's thoughts. I am Pugwi. Support me at Patreon. https://www.pat*korean.com/I am poor guy. Remove the asterisk. There are more than 100 chapter there. Comment. 5 comments. Vote. 1 left. Chapter 99, Chapter 99 The Angry White Snake Sage. Actually, Asahi know that there must be many more tricks that the White Snake Sage didn't use, but these tricks are useless. Asahi's divine sword has already persuading her to retreat. Knowing that she could not defeat the opponent even if she resisted, the White Snake Sage directly chose to admit defeat. I won't talk about this now. I'll go to Ryuchi Cave again in 10 days and a half a month later. Asahi said the words that scared Orochimaru, and he secretly broke into a cold sweat for Ryuchi Cave, but he suddenly felt that there was nothing wrong with it. He felt very comfortable when he saw Asahi run to Ryuchi Cave to do things. When he went to Ryuchi Cave, he almost couldn't come out. The White Snake Sage's personality was too difficult to control, and if he wasn't smart enough, let alone signing a contract, he would have long since become a bone. In addition, Manda has been at odds with him, and asked for sacrifices all day long, so when he saw how unlucky Ryuchi Cave is, he felt pretty satisfied, and when he heard Asahi wanted to go there again, he felt very comfortable. In this way, Asahi spent half a month on the moon. Although it is boring with Orochimaru here, he can also go to other places and walk around. There are ruins everywhere, so this place can also be regarded as an interesting place to travel. In his previous life, he didn't go out to play much, and only go to famous place nearby. After he went there, except for seeing the densely packed human heads, he couldn't see anything else, let alone playing. He already had enough to be squeezed there for a day. So he simply started to play in the lunar space. He wondered if he should find a time to release Kaguya, and try to dig Kaguya into his camp. To be honest, he didn't understand Kaguya at all. What is she guarding against? Are the Otsutsuki Clan so strong that they should be guarded against? Kaguya is invincible on her own. Okay, she might be doing superfluous things. Of course, after thinking about it, Asahi still gave up. Although Kaguya has no strength even if it is released now, after all, Kaguya without Jubi is an empty shell, but her Rinnegan is real, so in order to prevent being dragged into another dimension with Amanomineka, he chose to wait. In this way, Asahi spent half a month strolling the entire Moon Palace. He has to say that this place is indeed quite good, and it can be regarded as a tourist attraction, because people have long since become extinct. Therefore, most of the ruins here are covered with vines, and the cultural customs developed by these people are completely different from those in the Shinobi world. After he finished, Asahi found Orochimaru directly, and asked him to send himself Ryuchi Cave again, and then it was followed by another violent beating. This time, the White Snake Sage was so angry that she could only be pressed and beaten by Asahi. Asahi's strength had increased again, so even if she was angry, she couldn't do anything to Asahi. Asahi's mastery has also been directly pushed to 100%, however, unfortunately to Asahi, it is estimated that Ryuchi Cave will not be able to be used again in the future. If he comes again, it is estimated that the other party will either run away or just surrender immediately. Once or twice is fine, but after more, everyone will be numb, and there would be no hostility. Maybe some of them still have so, but a lot of them would be full of fear. When sunshine reached 100%, Asahi's body directly shrunk from the terrifying state of more than 5 meters to the 12-years-old body, which is not very different from his normal one. Huh? Why did he change back? The White Snake Sage, who was still angry but powerless, couldn't help but stunned when she saw this scene. The other Snake Sages were the same, as Asahi was like the demon god before, but now, he has completely changed back. They also can't feel the slightest power fluctuations from him, and he looks just like an ordinary person. Is it because of the special Kekii Genkai or other reasons has now exhausted? This was the only thought that popped out of the heads of the White Snake Sage and the other Snake Sages, and now they were starting to feel a little eager to make a move again, but at the next second, before they could act, an even more terrifying solar power erupts in Asahi's body. There is no change in his body, but the power of the sunshine has been completely controlled. At this moment, a small sun appeared in Asahi's hand, but this small sun is not golden, but blazing white, and the energy inside is fluctuating. When White Snake Sage felt the sun a little bit, she immediately broke into cold sweat, as she felt this power was too great. If she takes one head-on, she will definitely die. This has reached the level of true qualitative change, and there is no trace of power leaked out. White Snake Sage is also only able to perceive it by relying on her terrifying perception ability with natural energy, while the other Snake Sages can't perceive it at all. In the perception of the White Snake Sage, this thing is almost like an endless huge sun, and even by sensing it alone, she already felt roasted, which is too scary. Thank you, I have completely mastered my power now, so I will never come to Ryuchi Cave again in the future. By the way, please warn Manda. Next time I see him coming out and asked for sacrifices, I'll come to Ryuchi Cave again. Asahi left after leaving the last sentence. His goal has been achieved, so he doesn't have to fight with others with muscular appearance in the future. He feels that if he continues to fight with muscular appearance, his philosophy will change. So now, it was just right that he returned to normal, and after Asahi left, the White Snake Sage also recovered. Immediately after, she ordered the other snakes to bring Manda over. After all, she believed that Manda was the one who provoked that demon god. Therefore, the next thing happening to Manda was tragic. He is only a snake who does not master sage art, so how can he fight these snake sages? Moreover, there is also White Snake Sage staring at him. Therefore, although Manda did not enjoy the severe beating from the society again, he enjoyed a severe beating from the snake sages. It is estimated that Manda will never dare to put the so-called sacrifice on his lips anymore. No matter how arrogant he is, he can only admit defeat when encountering an existence like the White Snake Sage. The White Snake Sage and the others have really poured all the anger for this period of time on Manda, so Manda's tragic screams enveloped the entire Ryuchi Cave, and the snakes who heard it couldn't help but shrink their taunch, as it was too terrifying. Creator's thoughts. I am Pugwi. Support me at Patreon. https://www.pat*korean.com/I am Pugwi. Remove the asterisk. There are more than 100 chapter there. Comment. 4 comments. Vote. 1 left. Chapter 100, Chapter 100 System Reappearance and New Ability. After leaving Ryuchi Cave, Asahi began to open the system eagerly. This system has appeared twice from beginning until now. Once when the newbie benefit was given, and the other was when the equipment subsystem was turned on. As for this time, it can be regarded as the third time. Well, this system is probably one of the systems with weakest sense of existence. After all, it has only appeared 3 times in such a long time, but this third time is the one Asahi most looking forward to. What good stuff will I get this time? God bless me, give me a more comprehensive ability. My combat power is enough for now, so give me the ability with higher degree of elusiveness. After Asahi prayed for a while, he started to draw new abilities. There was no big turntable, and he only saw one draw opportunity. After it was consumed, then there was no more. After the system stopped, a burst of information burst into his mind. Hiss. This time is the memory type inheritance. Why would it just a memory? Oh God, although I want a comprehensive ability, but are you going too far in being comprehensive? After knowing what his newly acquired ability was, even Asahi had no choice but to suck in a breath of cold air. Zerf's Magic Encyclopedia. This is indeed too comprehensive. This time, the things drawn are no longer a single explosive type of power, but Zerf's Magic Encyclopedia, which originates from the fairy tale world. There are 30 magic books from this, and it can't be said to be a lot. Although Zerf does not dare to say that he is proficient in all the magic of the whole world, but he is absolutely proficient in most of them, and among the remaining small parts, there are many trashy magics that he does not need. T/N, I don't understand why it is said there are 30 magic books here, as I just translate it from the raw directly. The magical background behind this can be said to be so comprehensive that Asahi brain is about to burst out. Right now, Asahi just wants to stand up and shouted, who dares to compare comprehensive ability with me now? From now on, he doesn't need to be worried even if he encounters people with elusive abilities in the Shinobi world. He used to think that space ninjutsu is very troublesome, but now, he doesn't need to worry about these things. There are a lot of space magic in Zerf's magic encyclopedia, including teleport type. There are also various types of storage, and all kind of messes. The most powerful space-type magic is undoubtedly Irene's Universe 1, as this thing can instantly reconstruct an entire continent, which means that if Asahi can master this magic to the extreme, he can instantly restructure the entire Shinobi world. For example, putting Konoha in Kumogakyo, or dispersing the army from one village and send them to other villages. As for the Amanomineka, based on his current understanding of space and further improvement, he can come out in minutes, and there is no need to worry about these abilities anymore. And these magics are now being started, and any one of them is at beginner levels. As the percentage increases, these magics will slowly improve collectively. Perhaps it is still relatively slow now, but it is definitely useful, and the focus is on comprehensiveness. He is now equivalent to the heritage of a world's power, so who can be compared with him? When these magics were completely brought to the highest level, combined with his sunshine, he might be able to surpass Zerf in one fell swoop and achieve a true god-level existence. This time, he really made a lot of profit. Asahi calmed down after a while, and directly used the Divine Axe Ritter for an experiment. The original huge Divine Axe Ritter was directly reduced to the size of the fingertip of the little finger. Command T magic, which comes from Brandish, but at the same time, Zerf is also proficient in the magic of the Spriggan 12. As I only just getting started with magic, I can only reduce it this much. Looking at shrunken Divine Axe Ritter in his hand, Asahi is a little bit interested, but in the end, he has just started, so he can't do the same as Brandish, who can even shrink an island to the size of a palm. After this magic was developed to the extreme, Asahi estimated that a city can be instantly transformed into smaller than an ant, but now, he can't do such thing. After returning the Divine Axe Ritter to its original appearance, Asahi went directly to Orochimaru, and his body instantly disappeared. The space magic of fairy tales messed, and this guy also has memory control magic. This is also a super magic, but it can only be used to modify memory slightly, adding some, and it cannot be used to view memory. Of course, deletion is also possible, but it can also be restored. For example, you can insert a memory to someone that you are his friend, but it can only be used against the weak, as the strong can easily find the problem, so this magic is actually not so good and convenient. In fact, Zerf has more powerful memory control type magics, but Asahi doesn't want to use it on his own people, thinking that it would feel strange to have the people around him have their memories modified by him. As for the enemy, he didn't need it, as he can just kill them directly. He won't use this kind of magic unless he has to, and he also can't use it at this stage, and he needs to become stronger, as these magics are even more exaggerated than Mest's. Even Zerf didn't dare to say that he is proficient in all the magic in the world. Zerf's magic encyclopedia is undoubtedly the essence of a world. These magics, no matter whether they are hostile or friendly to him, Zerf is basically proficient in all of them, which is extremely terrifying. Ha! It's you. Seeing that Asahi was completely returned to his normal form during the day, Orochimaru couldn't help but be stunned. Although Asahi was suppressing his power with Ritter before so that it won't explode, his body shape would still change, and now Orochimaru is sure that it is daytime right now. This means that Asahi can also change into the normal form during the day, and the way Asahi suddenly appeared just now makes him can't help but think of Minato. Minato's flying thunder god also has such an effect, but Asahi seems to be more crisp. I can fully control my power now, so even in the daytime, my body will not change much, and I have also gained some special power. Asahi didn't say much about what his abilities are. Orochimaru is his own, and he won't hide it if he asks a few things, but if he doesn't ask then he won't say anything. But there are indeed many restrictions when he just started. Just now, he needed to teleport several times to arrive here. The distance is still too short. You have completely mastered it. Orochimaru's eyes lit up. Regarding Asahi's strength, in fact, almost everyone in the Shinobi world has guessed it. However, everyone has always been puzzled about how strong his strength actually is. It also includes Orochimaru. After joining Iwagakure, Orochimaru also has a certain understanding of Asahi's strength, as he would be the strongest at noon, but no one has ever seen how is Asahi at noon. At most, they only felt the pressure and power that Asahi exudes at noon, and the specifics are not clear. Now that Asahi has completely mastered this power, Orochimaru is curious about how strong this power actually is. If I burst out with all my strength, it won't be hard to blow up the moon. Asahi directly gave a horrifying answer to Orochimaru, which caused him to be stunned. Blowing up the moon. Isn't it too much?